Your methods were unorthodox and controversial.
Up comes your Royal Highness.
It's actually quite good fun.
Yes. Art thou afeard?
I'd venture to guess that King George VI is not a terrifically familiar historical figure here in the U.S., at least, which personally I think makes the story that much more fascinating to discover him.
I think in America, the famous story, if there is one, is Edward VIII, the English king who gave up his throne for love of an American, Wallace Simpson. And that's the famous story. What's less famous is what it's like being his younger brother, the shy one with the stammer, who's forced to take on the throne.
Within the film is a really exceptional sound design, which greatly helps inform his anxiety by placing him often in these public speaking situations with tremendous echoes, or the unforgiving speakers at Wembley.
One of the people working on the sound actually has mixed live concerts to the real Wembley, and says even now, there's a delay of 3 or 4 seconds from the stage if you're a musician to the coming back at you from the speakers, and it's incredibly disconcerting. And it was talking to this guy that made me realise how long the delay could be and how disturbing it would be to be a stammerer who not only has to hear the stammer that you make, but then hear it come back at you 3 seconds later. It's like a nightmare.
Get up! You can't sit there! Get up!
Why not? It's a chair.
No, that is not a chair. That is St. Edward's chair.
Why should I waste my time listening to
Because
you?
I have a right to be, and I have a voice!
The script introduces this wonderful status game between Bertie, between George VI, and Lionel in film.
Yeah, my castle, my rules, he says. It's inevitable that these men must have had to work in a way that was not according to the general protocols. If you're the Duke of York, or the heir to the throne, or probably any immediate member of the royal family, you're not going to encounter an awful lot of people that go around hugging you. You've got that anyway with that generation of men. And then on top of that, you've got royal protocol. And the fact you're not even allowed to talk to the guy unless you go through these titles, and you're not allowed to shake his hand unless his hand comes out first, and you're not allowed to bring up certain things. And the first thing Logue does when he sits down, I think it's a masterstroke from Geoffrey, is that he moves his chair away, almost as a provocation. As if to say, okay, you've got an exclusion zone, I'm going to observe that. And I think, Bertie is sharp enough to clock that the gauntlet's been thrown down.
And what of my husband with the Duke of York?
I thought the appointment was for Johnson. Forgive me, Your
Royal Highness.
Royal Highness.
Yes, Johnson was used during the Great War, when the Navy didn't want the enemy to know he was aboard.
Am I considered the enemy?
You will be, if you remain unobliging.
You play Bertie's wife, Elizabeth, of course, who finds herself in the dual role of royal family member, and on the other hand, just trying to be a supportive wife, doing everything that she can to try to coax her husband into an effective treatment.
I mean, she's so well loved and so well known, and I think it was my job was to try and rummage beneath the exterior, and I think she definitely was somebody who operated on different levels. The presented front was somewhat different to probably her inside. Somebody said she was like a marshmallow but made with a welding machine, and I think that's the sort of she had that lovely cuddly front, but inside was real steel, and it was that steel, that strength, that was so necessary to her husband.
You're the bravest man I know.
I intend to be a very good queen, to a very great king.
Forget everything else and just say it to me.